A waitress, a millionaire, and a life-changing encounter. Mia had always been a fighter. Life had never been particularly kind to her, but she had learned to survive, to push forward no matter the obstacles. Working as a waitress at Riverside Bistro for the past 3 years was proof of that. It wasn't glamorous, and it certainly wasn't her dream, but it put food on the table and kept a roof over her and her daughter's heads. Her daughter, Lily, was the light of her life. At just 5 years old, she had an infectious joy that could brighten even the darkest of days. Despite the long hours and exhaustion, Mia made sure Lily never felt the weight of their struggles. She had built a world where, even in hardship, love and laughter thrived. But fate had a peculiar way of turning the ordinary into the extraordinary. And on one particular evening, an unexpected twist would shake Mia's world to its core. An unexpected customer. It had been an ordinary night until it wasn't. Mia had been rushing between tables, balancing trays, refilling drinks, and smiling through the exhaustion. Her usual babysitter had cancelled at the last minute, leaving her with no choice but to bring Lily along. The little girl sat quietly in a corner, coloring in her small notebook, occasionally glancing up at her mother with a bright smile. "Stay close to Mama, okay?" Mia reminded her. Lily nodded enthusiastically, her tiny fingers gripping her crayons. Everything seemed to be going smoothly until a man walked in, a man who didn't quite fit into the cozy, modest atmosphere of the bistro. Dressed in an impeccably tailored suit, he exuded confidence, wealth, and power. His presence turned a few heads, but he remained unfazed, as if he was used to being noticed. Mia didn't think much of him at first, just another customer in the dinner rush. She scribbled down his order and moved on, unaware of the storm brewing just moments away. The hug that changed everything. Mia was in the middle of taking another table's order when she heard Lily's voice ring out, filled with uncontainable joy. "Mama, Mama! It's Daddy!" Mia's heart stopped. She turned just in time to see her daughter running, full speed, toward the sharply dressed man. Before Mia could react, Lily had flung herself into his arms, wrapping her tiny arms around him in a tight embrace. Gasps echoed through the restaurant. Mia rushed forward, her face flushed with a mix of shock and mortification. "Lily, no," she gasped, pulling her daughter back. "I'm so sorry, sir. She must have mistaken you for someone else." But the man didn't look annoyed. If anything, his face held a strange mixture of surprise and something deeper, recognition. "It's all right," he said, his voice calm and deep. He looked down at Lily, studying her face as if trying to confirm something impossible. "It's not every day I get called Dad." Mia's stomach twisted. There was something about his tone and undeniable certainty that sent a chill down her spine. "I think she's right," he continued, his gaze lifting to meet Mia's. "I think I am her father." A past resurfaced. Mia felt the ground shift beneath her. The man introduced himself as Thomas Harrington, CEO of Harrington Enterprises. The name struck her like a bolt of lightning. She had read about him in business magazines, seen his face in articles about tech empires and billion-dollar deals. He was a mogul, a man whose world was galaxies apart from hers. And yet, years ago, their paths had crossed. Mia's mind reeled back to her early 20s, a whirlwind romance, a brief but passionate connection. Back then, she had been young, naive, and caught up in something she hadn't fully understood. When she discovered she was pregnant, Thomas was already gone. She had convinced herself he had moved on, never looking back. But now, here he was. And he was claiming to be Lily's father. "That doesn't make sense," Mia whispered, shaking her head. You disappeared." Thomas's expression was unreadable, but there was something in his eyes, a sadness, a regret. "I didn't know," he admitted. "If I had, I would have never left." Mia wanted to argue, to demand why he had never reached out, why he had vanished without a trace. But the sincerity in his voice made her pause. Could it be possible? Could he truly not have known? The offer. Over the next few days, Mia wrestled with the reality of the situation. Thomas reached out multiple times, asking if they could talk, if he could get to know his daughter. She hesitated, torn between protecting Lily and the undeniable truth that her daughter had felt an instant connection to him. Then came the unexpected call. "I don't just want to be in Lily's life," Thomas said over the phone. "I want to help you both. I know things haven't been easy. Let me make it right." Mia's breath hitched. "What do you mean?" "I want to offer you a job," he said. "Something stable. Something that will ensure you never have to struggle again. And I want to set up a scholarship for Lily so she'll always have opportunities, no matter what." Mia's fingers tightened around the phone. Was this a genuine offer? Or was it just an attempt to ease his own guilt? I need to think about it." "Take all the time you need," Thomas replied. "But just know, I'm here." Taking a leap of faith. After days of inner turmoil, Mia made a decision. She agreed to meet Thomas, to hear him out not just for herself, but for Lily. The meeting was different than she expected. He wasn't pushy. He didn't try to buy his way into their lives. Instead, he listened. He respected her boundaries. And over time, his actions proved more than his words ever could. Slowly, Mia began to trust him. Lily, on the other hand, adored him immediately. Their bond was effortless, as if the years of separation had never existed. She would light up whenever he visited, clinging to him like she had known all along that he was meant to be there. And, in a way, maybe she had. A new beginning. Years later, as Mia watched Lily walk across the stage to receive a scholarship funded by Harrington Enterprises, she felt the weight of the past melt away. Thomas stood beside her, no longer a stranger but a true father to their daughter. He had kept his promises, proving that love wasn't just about words, it was about showing up, about staying, about making up for lost time. Life had an unpredictable way of surprising them. What started as a fleeting romance had turned into something neither of them had expected. And as Mia looked at the family she had built, the one she never thought possible, she knew one thing for certain. Sometimes, second chances weren't just given. Sometimes, they were fought for. And sometimes, they led to something even more beautiful than before.